Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 26th of April 2022. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Radiant Rider-Waite deck again for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Tuesday, what this day is going to look like. So let's see, the first card is the Ace of Cups. So that's always a good sign. Then we have the Lovers. Also a great sign. And finally, the Two of Swords. Wow. Okay, so this spread is all about love, really. The Ace of Cups is a blessing, a gift from the universe that comes along. You can see this disembodied hand coming out of the cloud. So it just handed to you, and it's this feeling that, wow, everything's going to work out. I am loved. I do care about other people. I care about the world, and they care back. And it's this natural stream of consciousness that you dip into. It's not having to learn something or understanding. It's something your heart opens and suddenly you realize that you're in this stream of consciousness that exists externally to you, whether you're in it or not. It's just that at different times you're going to tap into it and come out of it by being in love and not being in love. That suddenly opens up on this day, and you're just presented with this feeling of well-being, but then on the other hand, this opportunity to tap into something much larger than yourself, and it feels like it's an awakening. It feels like a rebirth. You can see this dove diving down here and this cross at the top of the chalice. So this is something that's kind of given, or that's delivered by spirituality. You've got no control over it. You can't force yourself into falling in love. It's just something that happens organically, like sleeping or, I don't know, blinking. So this cross here, that's a symbol for the spiritual realms intersecting the physical realm. And something that exists as an ideal, so something like love or a sense of joy or some sort of abstract feeling, now becomes real. It happens to be a very good, positive feeling, particularly in connection with love. And you can see all the water pouring out of this cup. So there's an infinite wealth and abundance of this, and it feels that way. It feels like, wow, where did all of this come from? So it's a big surprise, but it feels overwhelming and infinite in a good way. Here we've got the little lotus flowers at the bottom. So that, I always like that, or water lilies here. Having to make your way as this plant out from the dirt at the bottom, through the water, and then to break the surface. That's a pretty tough journey, and it's lonely. And when you're at the top, then you get to join all your friends. So the cup is much bigger here, and it's at the center of the card. This is down there. So it feels to me like love conquers all, in the sense that any negative experiences that you've had will be outweighed by this new positive experience. Then we've got the Lovers, so the sixth card in the Major Arcana, which is all about this ability we have as human beings to fall in love with other people, with places, with things, and to give of ourselves. And it's a blessing both ways you look at it. So if it's the two people doing it, or this person falling in love with a place, if you give your love and your care and your affection and your attention to something that you really cherish and treasure and value, then that thing is going to improve because it's receiving extra nurture and love. So that's a blessing to all the things and people and places that are touched by what you love, touched by your love. But also with the angel here, similar to the dove at the top, this is something that is kind of delivered to you. It's not something that you can do very much about. So either it appears and this person just is suddenly in front of you and you're like, wow, this is a miracle. Where did this come from? Or it's a sense of spirituality and love and something higher that stems from this process of loving another person or a place or thing. It makes you feel like there's more meaning to everyday kind of mundane activities. And ironically, that sense of elevating yourself by giving your love away makes you feel more loving and powerful in yourself. So that's really interesting, because it says to get it or to keep it isn't to hang on, it's to give it away. And that's a nice message that I heard somewhere else. Like, it's better to... So in terms of the spiritual law, the more you give of yourself, the stronger you become, which doesn't work and doesn't translate to all things on the physical realm. For instance, if you have, $5,000 in your bank account and you give it all away, it can generate extra income, but most of the time, if you just give it to people who then offer you nothing in return, then once you've given those $5 or 5,000 away, they're gone. So on a spiritual level, it's the opposite. It's give, 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 and you'll get more in return. And then finally, we got the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a woman who is blindfolded. She doesn't know what's going on. She's defensive. She's scared because obviously my senses aren't working. How am I going to protect myself? But she's got this sea at the back of her and the moon up there. So when I've heard it said a million times that if one of your actual physical senses falters, that the others are heightened and they try and compensate. And in this case, she's compensating by the lack of vision by using her intuition and making sense of things that way. So she uses her sixth sense, her animal instinct, her psychic ability. The moon is a symbol of the intuition in the tarot, but it's also a symbol of fear. So the great thing about this card then is faith and connection with something all-knowing and bigger than you. That is going to minimize any fear that you've got. So that's interesting because it says if you're by yourself and you struggle with anxiety or fear as a thing, then you're able to fall in love with something bigger that exists in an abstract spiritual sense, that where you feel the connection, it gives you the answers, and it allows you to let go and to have faith and to trust and not to have to engage with fear so much. So that can be the big love that comes in on this day. But also the Two of Swords. Swords is ideas, it's communication, and it's about hope that things will make sense again in future. So it's kind of buckling down and saying, I'm going to protect myself while things are unclear, and I'm going to do my best. But I do realize that things will be clear again. So what that means is that this opportunity for love and connection is available to everybody, even people who have given up on it or who've said, oh, I picked the wrong type of partner. I always make mistakes. I'm no good at romantic relationships. I've given up, or I am giving up. Then it doesn't matter. The cards are saying that this opportunity for love appears whether you want it or not. And it's really just down to you whether you want to jump on it. Yeah. So with these kind of energies, it's important, obviously, to do something where other people have access to you. So if the only contact you have during the day is like ordering a pizza, then the only chance for love you kind of get is with the delivery person. But if you go to run your errands in the morning, and then maybe you go to a yoga class or a qigong class, or I don't know, a group volleyball or a basketball or something like that, like an exercise thing where a lot of people are playing, obviously that makes you accessible in a very unpretentious way. But then also like any kind of group, like a meetup group, or taking a tour of the city, or joining a club, anything like that. Obviously going to work and speaking to your colleagues, socializing, going to an event or a social function, anything that's available to you, like a gallery opening or anything at all. Most people who live in any kind of town or village or city or whatever, there are things going on a lot of days if you look. And if you really look around what is available on this day, try and do it, even if you've lost hope, or even if you don't want to be in a relationship, because the thing about this is a sense of joy and love. Whether it's a relationship or not is irrelevant. It's the way this makes you feel. And if you discover a new path to walk down with your dog and you fall in love with the little ferns on either side or something, then that's not a very demanding relationship. You don't need to take care of that forest then. You just get to walk there every day if you choose, and you get to enjoy it. So this is what I'm saying, is this doesn't demand anything of you. So it's okay and it's safe to kind of dip your foot in the, dip your toe in the water and just try again. Because this is so positive, this is so good, it would really benefit you to be open to it. Number-wise, we've got ace, which is 1, and 6 is 7, and 2 is 9. 9 is spirituality and completion. So the spiritual energies, the angels, your guides, they're, well, I don't want to say they're giving you the opportunity, because it kind of puts all the onus and responsibility on you. And I don't feel that. What I feel is that your guides and your angels, they're helping you close off one way of being in your life, and they're propelling you to a different type of life. So if you're dissatisfied with anything and you want more love in your life, then look into it today, because the higher realms are kind of urging you, and they want you to turn a corner and to close this off and to move on with your life. So you're going to receive something, a gift, a present, an unexpected positive surprise comes your way. So make sure you're keeping your eyes and ears open. So I hope you have a great day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to order your reading with me. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal readings. So if you have any questions about your relationships or your life purpose or career or finance, travel, moving, education, anything at all really, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.